Um, just a couple more things I forgot to mention on the update. Uh, One, just to put emphasis on again, is that I don't want to judge my friend's mom, as I don't know her personally. That what I said was just a little assessment that I could figure out by, meeting her and by some of the things my friends said about her. Um, at the same time, though, I don't want to judge because, like I said, my mom was abused, so I know my mom is doing what she does because she's broken and she hasn't decided to have healing. That is her choice, yes, but her actions are still because of reasons from the past. Um, Thing is, I don't know her mom's history. I don't know her mom really, so I don't know why her mom does what she does. Can I figure out that she probably doesn't respect boundaries? Yeah, I can figure that much out. Can I figure out that she is clearly very opinionated? Yeah, I can figure that much out. But, does her mom yell and scream? According to my friend, she does. How much conflict is there? How often does it happen or occur? I don't know. And why does her mom do what she does? That's the part I don't know because I don't know her background. Um, I do know she's not originally from this country, um, and that she knows multiple languages. That's a little bit about her I got to find out. But as for a background, what was her growing or upbringing, I don't know. So I don't know if she's just a spoiled little brat who feels entitled and really didn't give a shit about her kids and only did what she thought was cute at the time, and that was be a good mommy when it was cute, and then lash out at her kids when it was no longer cute. I don't know. Is it just my friend she lashes out at? Does she lash out at her other kids? That I don't know. But a big part there is I don't know her background. Um, and I think a lot to do with that would be knowing how to actually help somebody. You have to know what it is that they're hanging on to help them let go. Um, like my mom, I know what she went through, so I know some things she's hanging on to. I also know she's manipulative, so I also know what problems she has. Um, but until she's ready to face those, she can't be helped. A lot to do with somebody actually getting help is you being willing to have that help, you wanting that help, and willing to work with that help. Uh, Help doesn't come just because you went and saw a psychologist, the psychologist said what was wrong, and then magically it helps. No, you have to do a lot of work and effort. And I'm not just saying this, like it's easier said than done kind of thing, and then I'm just blabbling on and I would never do it myself. I have seen help. And I did work with my counselor. So I'm not talking out my ass here like somebody who just is willing to talk about it but not willing to work. Um, I did do the work, so I understand there's a lot of work you have to do when you go actually see a counselor or psychologist. Um, so I know then until you are ready to accept that help and work for that help to help yourself, the psychologist or a counselor just helps give you the guidance to help yourself. They can't actually make you help yourself. That one you have to choose to do on your own. Um, So until my mom is ready to do that, she can't be helped because she can only decide to do it herself. She's seen a counselor, she's sought counseling from pastors many, many, many times. Not one of them's helped. And it doesn't mean it's the pastor's help or that one professional counselor's help that she did see. It is because she doesn't want to help. She doesn't want to actually have the help. She wants some sort of a miracle serum or something that magically makes everything better in her life. She doesn't actually want to put the work and effort into fixing her problems and seeking healing and to allow that healing in herself to actually fix the problems. She doesn't want to work for it. Um, Same with my dad. So, but, as I was saying, uh, you know, I kind of feel like her mom's probably the same way, but I don't know her background, so I wouldn't know where to start with that might help her. And I wouldn't know what are all the problems that she would need to acknowledge and own up to help her. Um, Not that I would try to help them at this point. I've learned nobody that's stubborn can be helped. They can only help themselves, and they won't do it. Um, I am saying though that I wouldn't know where to start. If she was willing to acknowledge, I wouldn't know where to start because I don't know enough about her. Um, so yeah, that was something I forgot to mention a little detail on too. That I didn't want anybody to think that I was judging her mom because frankly I don't know her. I can make an assessment about who certain things she does by meeting her on a first time, but um, it doesn't mean I get to know the full spectrum of what's going on. Um, yeah. So that's something else I was gonna say, but I totally forgot. That's the other part of my ADHD that's so dang freaking fun. Not really. Um, I get so sidetracked sometimes I totally forget about the other things that I was thinking or was going to say. Ah, damn it. Oh, yeah. But, also another thing about my friend I forgot to mention, in the update was that, I believe it was the day after tomorrow, she asked if she could come pick me up, so that we could, do a little more wedding planning, and she wanted to share some of her ideas and thoughts with me, so that's a good thing. I'm gonna get to hang out with my friend then, and we're gonna get to wedding plan on Wednesday, so that should be fun. Um, Also, I forgot to mention, I also did get to meet her dad, and he didn't seem like a bad guy. He actually seemed pretty cool. And damn, that man can cook good. I freaking love his guacamole. Guacamole should never be made any other way. Oh my god, yes. um, though I can't say that I got to know him enough know to really get to know much about him. Um, I can say he was very, very friendly, though. Very nice, and definitely a foodie person, because it just seems like every time you turn around, here, try this. Here, try this. Try this. So, I could figure out by first meeting him that he's probably a very generous person, probably very giving. Um, but again, kind of like with my friend's mom, it doesn't tell me a lot about them. It just tells me a little bit about them. It doesn't tell me enough to really make an idea about who this person is. Um, like I said, he was nice and friendly, but I'm nice and friendly. So I don't know if he feels neutral about his wife cheating on him. Maybe he's just somebody who doesn't actually feel too much about things done to them. And at the same time, maybe he's one of those people that feels so much and they hide it. He's acting friendly, but on the inside, he's in killer pain right now. Um, and that can happen when you see somebody who's friendly. More often than not, they give a lot of second chances and they give a lot of forgiveness. So, um, that does not mean that that's who he is, though. I'm just saying, like, the majority of the time when you see that. When you see somebody who's just that genuinely kind, I say genuinely because sometimes you see somebody who's kind, it's just not genuine. They are manipulators. So when you see somebody who's genuinely kind, usually there's a lot going on inside of them that they're putting up with, and they're not going to tell you. And then some of them, there's a lot they put up with, and they've numbed themselves from it. It's not just they try to forgive you, give a second chance. It's just they literally have numbed themselves. So, I don't know which kind of friendly person he is. I could figure out he was a very friendly person, though. And I could figure out it was genuine. Um, he just seems like he was somebody who was very much caring about his family, and I could figure that much out too, first meeting him. So yeah, that was some things I forgot to mention, so I got to meet my friends, both their parents. I got to meet them that night. Um, how in the world do sweet people end up with such controlling people? I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure that one out, but it seems like that way. It always goes that way. But there you go. You have, so I don't know if he's numbed himself out or if he's somebody who um, is just hiding his pain. I don't know yet. I haven't got to know him enough to be able to figure that much out. But I, got to know enough to at least get to know a little bit about them. Um, you know, and kind of like if you go see a psychologist or a counselor, somebody who's much more educated than I am, highly much more educated than I am. I only know so little, not enough, but a little. And I actually just read people. So, for the most part, when I get to know you, they're on the first time of meeting you, I can figure out a little bit about you. There will be obvious little cues you're giving that I can read. Well, they're obvious to me. I've learned to everybody else they're not very obvious at all. But for me, they're very, very obvious, and I read it pretty well. Things that just give me little hints about yourself, maybe pet peeves you have. If you're a friendly person, if you're a genuine person, if you're not genuine, if you're a liar, if you're honest, just the small minor things about you. About the second or third or fourth time, by that time, I can pretty well get to know who you are, though. And, it's kind of like the same way if somebody seeks counseling. That's kind of how it works. They get to know you on the first day, and, the few times they're just getting to know you and piece the pieces together. And, when they have the pieces together, they try to help you see those pieces maybe that you overlook or don't want to see. Kind of like when I was seeing a counselor, I was making excuses for my mom, and my counselor was trying to get me to see that my mom was being abusive. There was a lot of them trying to show me she's being dishonest and deliberately doing it. It is not an accident. She's not somehow just playing a game in her head and tricking herself to believe that game. She's deliberately playing a game with your head and tricking you to believe that she actually believes what she's doing. So it took a lot of work and effort on them to do that. And I think that's why you also have to go to a counselor consistently, even if you don't see it at first. They still work with you and keep working with you until you do. I gotta say my counselor was great because she didn't judge me when I didn't say, oh yeah, I see what you're saying at first. This was a period of 2 years I was seeing this counselor, and it took her time, and she was not very judgmental. She mostly just, what she did was listen about how my week was going, and then help start pointing out cues to me that I was overlooking, pointing out things to me that I was making excuses for, pointing out things to me that, I know I'm really good at reading people, but when it comes to things that involve me personally, I'm too emotionally involved. And therefore, I suck at reading it. That, and I've been trained to not see it. I've been trained to overlook. I've been trained to make excuses. So, therefore, I do. And my counselor helped me through that a lot. To start paying attention to the cues and everything. Like what I learned today, and it caught on to it. My mom saying, "Don't even start with me." That is not her actual thing I'm about to start something. That is a cue for me to pick up on and realize, oh my god, you're about to start a head game here, to start an argument literally out of nothing and scream and yell at me over nothing. All the while I sit here like a deer in the headlights, really fucking confused. Like, what the hell just happened? So that's what she would do, just sit with me and be like, oh, how did your week go? And then go on and saying how the week goes. And then, things that my mom would say or do, or things that had happened, she would be like, don't you think that's a little abusive? Or don't you think that's a little odd that she would say it that way, in that manner? Like, as if she did it on purpose, as if she was trying to manipulate. And at first, I admit, you don't see it. You don't see it when she was saying it to me. I didn't see it. Um, you know, in a way, I did see it, but I was too terrified to, I think. But eventually, I just came to terms to admitting it and realized, it's true. My mom's doing it on purpose. And my counselor helped me to have the strength to be able to admit that, and, have the courage to realize I gotta get out and realize that I can only help myself. I can't help them. You know, she realized I wanted to help them so bad, and she had to point out that I can only help myself. I cannot help them. Um, so yeah, that's honestly what counseling's like. If you go, first they're gonna just get to know you. It's not gonna be like this immediate of, oh, I'm gonna diagnose you with this, this, and this, and this, and then I'm going to do this and this for you, and this will fix all your problems. Oh, and get this person out of your life because they're the ones that are fault for everything. No, you're gonna learn that some of the things are on your fault, and you're gonna learn things that may be a lot of other person's fault, or you may learn that you are a lot to do with the fault. you know um and they're going to point out little cues to you that you're not paying attention to, like with my mom. When she was in counseling, a lot of the time they would point out to her, this happened how many years ago? 30. Don't you think that's about time to let that go and try to give this person some trust and forgive them? And she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. And they would point out to my dad, like, don't you think that's a little, self-absorbed, asking that of somebody or requesting that of someone, just showing little cues and things that they're doing and how it might affect others and help them see, through another's eyes other than their own. And both my parents just couldn't seem to do it. They still can't seem to do that. So honestly, that's what counseling or seeking, help is like. And it is good and it's healthy. It'll help if you're willing to have help for it. So, yeah, those were the things I forgot to mention in the update was, I had gotten to know my friend's dad as well. And again, I'm only giving a tiny assessment by, getting to know them the first day. I cannot give you like a full idea of how I feel about them or what I think about them or who they are as a person. Um, but, and also that, someone wants help, it will start with acknowledging and, learning where the problem is. um, and, just keep going even when things don't make sense at first when you're going to a counselor. It will still help if you're willing to accept it. Um, you know, and I'm gonna be going with my friend on Wednesday to plan some wedding stuff, and I honestly can't wait to hear her thoughts and ideas. Um, it's gonna be really good and healthy for me to get out with a friend and have a little bit more of a environment where someone's happy and it's not so dang toxic, and just be able to have fun with someone and not someone screaming and yelling at me. That'll be nice. So that'll be healthy for me. And also just getting to discuss wedding stuff, so that gives a lot of positive energy because it's happy and that's good, so that'll be good for me too. And I can't wait to hear her ideas and thoughts because I haven't got to hear them yet. I keep asking, but I haven't got to hear them yet, so I'm hoping finally I'll get to hear some of her ideas and her thoughts, and you know we can just discuss a plan for the wedding. That would be great, and I look forward to that. um, now that I have somewhat of a plan, it's actually fun wedding planning now. Beforehand, I had no idea what I was going to plan or do, and it was very freaking stressful. I really didn't like it at all, but Now that I have an idea of some things that I want, and I have an idea of what kind of setup I want, and, things that just been placed into motion, now it feels a lot more fun, and I feel a lot more calm and less stressed. So it feels good talking about the wedding now. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm gonna stop my babbling now, and you have a good morning, a good afternoon, or good evening, and goodbye now, and blessed day.